Hi, welcome to GRVOTV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. Before I start my review on the little battery grip I've got for my G80, I just want to do a quick piece about Patreon. I've started up a Patreon account because a few people said I should do, so I have done. And part of the reason is because I cannot afford to keep buying and selling and moving through cameras, because companies like Olympus with the OMD EM1 Mark II and Panasonic with the G85 have decided to pretty much sort of double the price of their cameras. You know, you're talking £2,000 for each camera now. And where I was sort of working through cameras in about the £1,000 range, I could move through them without losing too much money. But I can't buy a £2,000 camera and sell it and come out anywhere close to being, on par with what I paid for it. Because even if I sell it for what I bought it for, the selling costs alone are going to cost me nigh on £200, and I'll never make that back on the videos. So the only way I can move forward with my YouTube channel is to get some funding from somewhere. Now, I've gone for the Patreon route because I think that's the best way to go, because it keeps me true to my channel, in that if I review something, it's because I've bought it myself with my own money, and I give a different perspective to someone who perhaps has been given a product. And I think this is true of a lot of videos that I've watched about, Fuji product. A lot of these people are Fuji artisans or people like that, and I tend to steer clear of those videos. And more now, these sort of people that we've watched for the last few years, they're just given products. And when was the last time you saw someone do a really bad review of a product that they'd been given? So there you go. I've set up a Patreon page. You can find a link in the description. It's under Harry Bunn and under GRVOTV. And I'm looking for sort of like a dollar, really. That's all. And any money that I get from Patreon will be put towards my video channel by buying products. If it took off to a point where I was making enough to buy lots of products, then I would basically, once I'd reviewed the product, I would give it to a random Patreon supporter. So that would be my way of giving back. So that's that. Enough of that. Anyway, moving on. I finally, after about 3 months, I've got the biggie, or the Panasonic DMW BGG1, the Panasonic grip for the G80/G85. And someone had said to me before I got it that Panasonic were giving you a free battery with it, and I was like, no, they're not going to give you a free battery as well as a free grip. And lo and behold, battery pack included. So I've got, and that's probably one of the best things about this, they actually sent me a spare battery with it as well. So that's the grip on the camera. You can see it there. Makes this a nice chunky camera, and it does add a bit of weight to it. So is it something I'm going to use all the time? Probably not. But for days when I'm out for a whole day shooting, or just depends on what you're doing, it just gives you that flexibility of not having to worry about the battery life. It's easy to put on and off. It's just one screw, so you can easily pop it off. There is a little plastic cover that comes on there, which I've got here. So you just pop that off. I'll just leave that off now. And the little rubber cover that goes on there, you just peel that off, and there's a place for that to stick there. I haven't found a place to stick the little plastic thing, but I'll just pop that back in the box. And that's done. So this is the grip. On it, you've got obviously the threaded part, the contact part, and a pin. Now, I've used lots of battery grips before in the past, and ones that aren't sort of like, if this is a third party one, it's not, they're never that great. What do you want? You want to go out now? So I've had lots of battery grips before in the past, and they have this little bit of movement in, and I'm very fussy and pernickety, and if I've got a battery grip on my camera and there's the tiniest bit of movement, I won't have it, because it just doesn't feel right. And that's why you need like a nice, there's got a steel pin there that seats in a little hole under the camera, so when you put it on it fits really nice. Leave it off for now. So control wise, on the back, there's obviously the locking mechanism. There's a simple on-off button. Bosh bosh. Now, a lot of things we buy nowadays have two buttons that you have to push and hold, or one button that you push and hold for 5 seconds or 4 seconds and all that. And I hate all those things, and I don't understand why so many products we buy now have push and hold buttons. I like a switch like this, and thankfully cameras still retain that. I like a switch, an on-off switch, nice and easy. So it's on, it's off, simple. So you've got an on-off switch there. There's an AF/AE lock button, which I have for back button focus, and that's the same as the back button focus on the camera. And that's it on the back. On the top you've got the 2 dials, and obviously they're identical to the dials on the camera, which is nice. They've chosen the same form factor. And there's your shutter button, which feels exactly the same. And then on the back dial there's a little function button in the middle of that, which I have set to, if I hit that, my 2 dials then become white balance and ISO. And then in the middle there's the function 1 button, which is the exposure compensation button. On the bottom you've just got the thread for the tripod. Then this end, you open it up and you've got your battery. So the battery is only room for 1 battery, so it only goes halfway in, which I don't have a problem with. I think by the time you get 2 batteries in, they become way too heavy. And as I said, I've been given a BLC12V battery with the grip, which was really nice, so I haven't had to go out and buy a third party or another battery. Fits in there really nice. The quality is really nice. It feels robust. It feels as good as the quality on the camera. It's weatherproof, which is great. It fits on lovely. The thread is a nice long thread, but once you get it tightened down, there's no movement whatsoever. It's designed for obviously vertical shooting, and it does make it much easier to hold that way. So if you're doing a day when you know you're going to be doing lots of vertical shooting for whatever reason, then it's a great thing. The on-off button is in the great place for your thumb, just to flick on and off when you need it. Because when you're in, if you haven't got an on-off button on one of these and you're shooting normally, it's quite easy to knock with your hand either one of the dials or one of the buttons. So to be able to just very quickly turn that off is great. If I'm using it normally like this, if I flip it round, I can flip it round, turn it on, and I'm ready to go again. It's a nice simple operation. I really like that. It looks really nice on the camera. They've got little details, like it actually follows the design, the feel of it. It is obviously made specifically for this camera, and they've done a pretty good job of it. I'm really pleased with it. As I say, it does add some weight to the camera. Some people will say that's a good thing. If you're doing, for instance, videoing, adding a little bit of weight can make yourself even more stable. And also for stills, it gives you a much better grip to hold on to. My pinky finger is down in that nice little recess there. It's not hanging off the bottom of the camera. So, personally, it doesn't add so much weight that I'd find it uncomfortable to wear on a side sling all day. So my plan is to leave it on, basically. Unless I'm going out and I just want a very minimalist system, and I can just pop it off, no problem at all. But yeah, there you go, that's the battery grip for the G80. Finally got it. The fact that it came with a spare battery makes up for the fact that it's taken 3 months to get here, but I'm well pleased with it. I can't fault it in any way, shape or form. The other thing it does is it gives you one of these little doors for you to put a power supply in, and run it off the mains, so you can run your camera off the mains as well, which is great. So this is GRVOTV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.